Actually, I was like,
I
wonder if she would want to come on this show.
She could.
You honestly should really just stay away. Do you hear us, idiots? Let's be honest.
I mean,
I'm probably gonna die.
She could put. She could tell like all her Instagram followers and just like blow up.
She actually has Instagram followers.
She got up to like 10,000, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Why have we not been using them? Jeez. What have you been hiding out on?
Well, it's not our content. She doesn't do this kind of content. We don't even know what kind.
We need as much help as we can get.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Every avenue. No shame.
Every avenue, I think we do have limits.
Nah. Show me some zeros and we'll see.
Oh, hey, Michael Garner. It's Bill Clinton here.
It's OnlyFans.
It's OnlyFans, yeah. It's Michael Flynn from Hustler.
Oh, man. I'm going to go save because I don't want to lose all
Michael,
this progress.
it is I, Beelzebub. Would you be willing for 200 followers for a tenth of your soul?
Oh, man. How much is a tenth of my soul worth? Does it just does it make me like shorter or something? Like, because I'm already short enough. I don't really care.
You must strike the bargain to find out.
Ugh.
I learned that from Nancy Pelosi.
I'm never. Yeah. I came back to OnlyFans. We were just talking about how England is a terrible country and should fall underwater one day. I don't know what that word is. Yeah, so...
That's how we're going to say it. That's going to go on the merch.
The merch shop!
Zealously says, Pahashi.
Oh my gosh. Zealously, if you want this to be a thing, you've got to definitely get more people to watch. We're counting on you.
What do you have that you're going to infect us with?
I'll come to Utah and infect you guys. We're already infected here. We're infected with pride. We're infected with the inversion. Our pets' heads are falling off!
We've had so much snow and storms that there's been no talk of inversion. You hear that lately? All those environmentalists and all those people that are just like, we need to stop everybody from driving or having wood stoves to burn.
Well, and my father-in-law, and I don't know where he's getting this from. I would think you would maybe know more about this. He was making merch off me because I'm your content. You are the only content. That's why we need you to get more people.
Yeah.
The doy.
Although
he was saying that we should be worried about like our basements flooding because all the water is going to run off and then the sewers are going to back up because of it.
It's possible.
And so it's like, I've never heard of that. I've lived here my whole life and I've never heard of that.
If he's here in 83, then yeah, probably.
I heard that there was flooding like in Salt Lake in the roads, but I don't know how much that affected like the suburbs. You would hope that there would be a way that they like diverted it to like the Jordan River or to the Great Salt Lake, but I guess not.
That's the hope, right? Well, they did divert it down to the Jordan River from them.
Yeah, we are asking the government to do it, right? I mean, yeah, the government is so useful to us that it constantly is causing our life to be so much easier. Oh my gosh.
Whatever, Cox has got your back.
Oh my gosh, he makes me want to throw up. Every time I think about him, every time
other friends zealously? Oh wait, that's a rhetorical question. You listen to two very old white men in America.
And Utah, of all places. It's not even like you're listening to someone in Los Angeles. We're in Salt Lake, Utah.
Should we do like radio announcer voices? Would that help? Good evening, everybody. This is Rook and Special K. Liquid Rook is going to show you how to get angry at Castlevania. That's right.
Pew, 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 pew.
That's how he does it. All right, everybody. Caller number 10 gets a free air hug. Welcome back, callers.
Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
You forgot that.
Never.
What was 20 years
ago?
Joe Biden doesn't know what flooding is. He does, because he's constantly changing his depends.
Boom!
Oh.
Flooded with poop!
He did have that story where he defecated himself in the Vatican or something like that.
So funny.
And then to cover for him, I think,
such
what
a
was it?
joke.
What's the guy's name? Al Roker talked about his own pooping his pants story
Now,
to like make him feel better.
funny about all that, I have plenty of poop my pants stories.
I
But
do
I
not.
wouldn't do it in the Vatican. That's the problem.
I don't think. I think his incontinence is at a level that he doesn't have a choice in this. It's not like, man, the Pope's really boring. I'm gonna shat myself just to.
Well,
get
yeah,
out
I
of
don't
this.
think it has anything to do with being boring. He's probably just bores himself. It's like, well, I could fill my diaper now and get out of this situation. And then it just...
Maybe he really thought that there was something else. He was like,
Yeah.
he's like, Jill, I'm pretty sure it's just air. No, honey, we know that that's
No,
not true.
no,
it's
not.
just air. Sorry.
And then these...
Why are we getting to poop jokes? Is that what our content
Yes.
has developed down to?
This is a transport, but I'm not going to use it now because there's other things to explore.
Famous
Here.
people don't wear trousers. Only foppish dandies from the 1800s and the 19th century wear trousers.
Only people who still play Monarchs to do nothing. I can't believe that that's a real thing. I'll never get over that. And I'm pretty sure that, like, Canada still, like, respects the monarchy, too. There's, like, something in there, like, constitution or whatever you want to call it, that allows the monarchy to, like, control what they do or something.
They're still kind of attached to it. They're a
So
constitutional independent, but they still are granted that power through England. So they've had
So
three different
stupid.
bills throughout the years: 1867, 1982. No, let's see, 1867, 19. I should know this.
So what could-
1928 and 1982 was the last one where they kind of gave them this independence.
What could the monarchy actually do?
And they don't really have any.
Could they, like, say, well, we want you to do this and you now need to do it?
It's possible they can rescind what power they gave them in 1982.
Right.
So,
Right?
but I don't know if that.
Because it's England that gave it to Canada,
Which
right?
I kind of wish they would, because I mean, I'd rather have a monarch than Justin Trudeau. I'd rather pay a monarch to sit there and look pretty,
Look pretty.
unless it's Camille.
Look, until you pay for my house and you get me out of debt, I don't respect anyone that has power over me.
Wait,
like
you
this.
want a handout
That's
too?
all. Yeah, that's what I want.
So your price is somebody
That's
paying
it.
off your house?
That pretty much. It's not even that expensive.
You hear that, Biden? He will take a pants pooping story and you paying off his house, and he'll vote for you
Yeah.
in 2024.
Whatever. Our whole way of life and everything that we do is so stupid and ridiculous to think that we even have power. And it's because people don't understand, like, what money is or what money is not. Like, people genuinely don't
right.
understand, like, what money is supposed to represent, and then we fetishized over it. And then after we fetishized over it, we
that
got
was
to
one of
where
my
we are
topics.
now. And now we're in this bubble that's going to pop, and we're gonna see real pain.
Yeah.
Real pain.
It's gonna come worldwide, and I think people think that it's just a conspiracy theory, and that we've talked about this before and it hasn't happened. It's coming.
Right.
Um,
And most likely it's already started.
So I can't remember the other two, but I remember they were talking about on the radio a Wall Street Journal poll that they did, and they're talking about characteristics that make Americans American. And the third one was money.
Yeah.
I don't really know how that's a characteristic, but that's really telling, especially something that doesn't mean anything. Most currencies in the world are fiat currencies. England sterling pound, I thought, was still based on sterling silver, but whatever has happened with them has felt quite dramatically, and it's almost trading at $1 per dollar, which means that most currencies around the world have fallen precipitously. Another thing that people don't realize is that American dollars are the world's reserve currency, which means in order to buy barrels of oil, you have to get American dollars first.
Right.
Sadly, maybe 10 years ago or less, China and Russia decided that they didn't have to do that, so they actually work without that.
Right, and that's a big deal to the
huge.
West.
Yeah, that's
like that is a bad thing for the West.
right.
And if you care about like people and democracy and the things that like we hold as values in the West, you should be crapping your pants that Russia and China are continuing to work together the way they do.
And even worse so that most Western countries have gone off the deep end with green energy ideology. Regardless if you think it's a good idea or not, it's not there yet. And by cutting off without having a backup or being able to use what works is going to doom us all. Look at Germany and what has happened to them. They went.
Well, it's literally
power.
why it's part of the reason that we have the inflation that we have.
Yeah.
Like the inflation you can put as a an overwork of dollars being put in the economy, but then the factors that make it worse or better are definitely a part of it. These things.
Yeah. And
people just don't understand that. They don't understand what money was really supposed to be about. They don't understand how like the transfer of wealth has been happening year after year. They don't care that it's been happening. And they don't understand what it is that they're going to do after the fact. They just don't, people just don't care and they don't know. And it's going to ruin them.
Is they don't know that it's on purpose.
Yeah.
It's being done on purpose because
and they don't care.
They want that control, and they will readily fall for the central bank digital currency that is coming.
Right. Like all your money, like is going to be like if all your money is
I'm glad
zeros.
Some of the younger generation do get that. That is very important. Like one of the other things these polls revealed is that even though all these car companies are dedicated to creating electric vehicles, you know how much of Americans or the people polled wanted that? 3%.
Right.
People are changing their business model. Did you see Ford lost like $3 billion because of their electric vehicle programs?
Right.
You can't. They're ridiculously expensive. Nobody's going to be able to buy that. They are creating an oligarchy, and people don't see that.
Right. Well, and they just don't. People don't see and they don't care. They don't understand, and it's like, you're gonna own nothing and
then be happy. That's what the World Economic Forum wants. That is what Bill Gates and George Soros, they want to change not only those things, but how food gets from us from growth to mouth.
Right.
So I don't know what kind of food we'll be eating. There's a really great movie, and it's a little different because it's probably more about it's totally like Saturday's Wars and stuff about zero population, but the movie's called ZPG or Zero Population Growth, and it's from 1972, and it's like a Danish/American collaboration. It is one of my favorite post-apocalyptic movies because 70s post-apocalyptic movies are fantastic because a lot of them try to predict what is happening like maybe 20 years ago or like our time now, and it's just fun to see what they thought and how wrong they mostly are. One of my favorite British writers, H.G. Wells, even though he was, I believe, a socialist, maybe even a communist at some point, did have some pretty good ideals, and one of his, a great movie is Things to Come. I really enjoy that movie. You should go watch it if you've never seen it.
Oh, man. It's just...
there is some nasty American food, but there is some amazing American food.
Yeah. Steak is the best. If you don't like steak, you're a communist and don't deserve anything that you have in life. I love speaking in ultimatums and then absolutes. It drives people crazy. And I love to do it.
Look, American-style Chinese food and Mexican food might be some of the best stuff that's out there.
It's true.
Sure, it might kind of be crappy in some respects.
It's not actually real, but who cares?
I mean, Panda Express, that's not real Chinese food, but it's amazing. That orange chicken could save the world. If everybody just pulled their
money happy.
Yeah, if they just pulled their money together and just started handing out Panda Express orange chicken,
so funny.
Putin wouldn't want to get into Ukraine anymore. He'd just be like, screw this. I'm just chowing down with all the rest of you guys with some chow mein and Panda Express orange chicken.
Just want some Panda Express, yo. That's all I need to be happy.
What'd you have at That's because it's probably British Burger King. I mean, it doesn't have the right amount of grease and probably feces from the workers in America. So you're just missing that bacteria for your gut. That's why. It's too clean, man.
Yeah.
Actually, I have no idea. No, I actually really like the Impossible Whopper, although I had the Beyond Burger from Carl's Jr., and I thought it was better.
Yeah, I think it's better, too.
So it's got that backyard barbecue flavor. It's really quite amazing.
Yeah, I like it. This led to
When did you come to America? You're not from England, are you? Liar!
Lies and false propaganda! You're really my mother, aren't you?
Talking to my daughter. As a gay black man. Your mother is hilarious. Who would have thought about it? Like 3 years ago? What'd you come over here for? He's just gonna say, because I'm Joe Biden.
Fuck Joe Biden. Gross. Joe Biden. If you are actually listening, pay off my house and you'll get my vote. I'll write you in until I die.
Do you think if we kept on saying his name enough that eventually, like, they'd either shut us down or, like,
Joe
come investigate
Biden. Probably.
Like, what keyword could we say enough to have us, like, investigate?
COVID.
Not real. I mean, I'm not going to say that that's true, but I'm just trying to make a point that, to see what would happen.
If we ever do get it, like,
Twitch.
some kind of strike, we'll definitely publish it. No, my goal now is to align myself with Rumble and Steven Crowder. I'm hoping one day to be aligned with him, and if I do, I will have made it.
So more so than the Daily Wire now, huh?
Well, the Daily Wire, it's like, and I don't hate the Daily Wire. We kind of talked about this, but it's like, I don't agree with the way I am on Crowder's side in that argument. I still love him. I still think they do good stuff. I still think that they're a necessary thing, and they do good work. But as far as we've talked about this. Like, I have a master's degree in economics, and so I was taught by socialists and communists. I studied poverty and inequality. That's why I feel like people can take like what I say to the bank when it comes to these ideals and being like, well, why would someone who has a master's degree and was taught by them not agree with them? It's like, yeah, that's the point. Like, you should maybe think about that. Like, why wouldn't someone that you would think would just go along with that if they were taught by them? You would think that I would it's because their data is messed up. It doesn't make any sense. It's not based on reality. Blah, 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 blah. But anyways, I digress. There are things that the conservative movement as well they're just not smart about. And like they become money hungry people, and like the transfer of wealth is the biggest problem that people have. It's not race, it's not gender, it's not those kind of problems. The biggest problem is poverty. And we have this huge transfer of power that is causing all the issues. And people don't know, they don't understand what to do about it, and that's the sad reality that we all live in. And there's nothing until we become smarter and more dedicated and figure out a way for businesses to make profits while at the same time taking very good care of their employees, we will suffer the consequences. And it's already happened. Like, it's already gone. Like BlackRock buying all the houses up. Like, if you sold your house in cash. Like, I don't blame you for doing that, but it's like because
businesses and governments got together.
Yeah.
Because businesses would have taken care of their employees, but the problem is that, unions did a job and where they got legislation passed, which kind of ruined things, because then you just, rely on what the government does for so long, and that, the government should pass laws to make sure that a business does well.
Well, right, when unions had a place, but then they should have gone away a long time ago. They outran their utility. It's like the beginning of it was good.
There is no...
But after a while, it's like, we don't need we don't need unions like
Yeah.
we used to.
It sounds like, yeah, what you're saying, Zelsley, is like what they think trickle-up economics is. They think that if you give more money to the poor, then your economy will do better.
Right, and that's exactly the problem. Is it's not based on. It's like the arguments of UBI. Like UBI can work if and only if it's based upon service product, something that is real. You can't just print money and give it to people. Yeah. But you couldn't necessarily trust the government to do that. Like if you privatize, let's say you privatize like energy, I don't know that you wouldn't really be able to trust the government to do it the right way. Like we did that with the airlines, and they're a mess. And it's like government is never really the answer, because government is still people and bureaucrats. Like what happened with Destin, he got screwed because of that, and people don't realize that either. It's like the government is not here to make your life easier. The government is here to earn money. I mean, that's what people do to earn money.
The bureaucratic
They're
system,
using it as a power to do that.
The administrative state is millions of people large.
Right.
And that was never what the Constitution or the cabinet was supposed to be for the executive branch. Because
it just became a business type model. Like it was like we know how to do this, and we know that we're going to be able to do it well.
All right.
Well, good. Get more people, and then more people can ruin their sleep.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Maybe the summertime in less than 2 months will change that. Actually, I don't know what your school schedule's like or how that works, but...
Oh, crappy pants.
Good night. Good night and good luck.
Well, there goes one of the only viewers that actually does anything. I'm looking at you, other two viewers! But yeah, like we
did better last week.
We just don't know. Well, honestly, I think it's the time. If you look at it, when it gets to about 8 o'clock, that's when most people show up. And that has always been the case. Like I've started at 7 on every stream, and it's not until 8 or 8:30 that's when people show up. And it is consistently that way. The later, whatever it is, I don't know what it is. It might just be that we're on, and then people like, oh yeah, they're on, and then they get to us. I don't know, but it has always been that way every time I've ever done this.
I thought they came on earlier last week, though.
No, everything came on right at the end.
No, so that was the week
with
before.
Like 30 minutes. With 30 minutes left. Maybe. That's what happens. And it's happened every time. Like they give me the data, and the data says it very clearly what happens. And I don't know if that's because of because it's not necessarily that it starts, like if we start at 8, I don't know that that's what it would be. It could be that the stream is just on. So it could be the length, like there's still, again, data. Like the data doesn't show one thing or another. Like we'd have to test it.
I think you could jump over if you're the wolf.
I might be able to.
To get those
Well, and
pots.
the wolf does have he charges, but I don't know how to do it.
Where's she?
There's like a...
That's weird. He's very slow.
Yes, he is very slow.
That's dumb.
But he jumps.
Yeah, but he would get over there.
Oh, it's just that.
Yeah.
Just double forward. And then he can...
Oh, yeah,
you become the wolf, and then the bat, and then...
How does the wolf help?
Well, the wolf, there's going to be times where I'm going to need to run, and then running causes me to be able to jump longer distances.
Yeah.
So like above where that big square is, above in the top right corner, I might need to do that in order to get there. But I'm going to go to the middle where there's all that gray and that long column.
Yeah.
And I want to see if I can if I'm supposed to break the bottom of the floor to get in there. But yeah. All of these things are going to lead to our impending doom. So
Does that map the whole world? Or just a level?
Yes. Yeah, like the map is your world. Like this.
Okay.
Now there are more things and places I can go. I don't think this tells me like everything. So like as you can see, there are little places that have like gaps. That's usually a place I can go, and then there's nothing beyond it. So there are things that like I still find, per se, but yeah.
Excuse me. That is not good video.
No.
Yawning. Making me yawn. So we ended off with a
Oh my gosh.
stone. With a question about fantasy and characters. So we'll start off with, which type of character would you like to be? Would you like to stay human? Would you like to be an elf, a dwarf?
I mean,
a
an elf.
wizard?
I think an elf like seems to be like the obvious pick because it's like they're beautiful and they're like everyone like wants that. I think
Well,
a wizard would be interesting.
In certain realms, though, right?
Right.
Because in The Witcher, elves are actually like, you know, they're the
Sci-fi
outcasts.
elves are very different too.
And they have the dark elves in Thor.
Yeah.
They're kind of, but they're like space
Kinda
people.
Yeah.
So we said no sci-fi.
Right. Sci-fi will be another day.
So
I feel like.
yeah, I'd always feel like elves. Like I'd be an
Yeah.
elf. I don't want to be an elf.
I probably want to be a
Or-
mage, but
or half-
anything that I could still marry someone, honestly.
Half elf, half human.
Yeah. Like I hate the idea. This is what I hate about any story where they like the Jedis. The Jedis are the bad guy. If anyone doesn't understand as well, they're like the anti-hero. So like when in the prequels, they're definitely not like the good guys. I don't know if anyone like caught on to that. Like they're the ones that made the prophecy like not come to fruition. Like that was part of it.
So you think they're
I
too
don't know if-
controlling?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the thing is like everything about what Luke did to actually stave the curse, and like, you know, if you think of it in those terms, was the fact that he like was love, and like the love for his father and wanting to like make him a better person. Like that all came out of things that are not Jedi qualities. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi, for example. I have no idea what that did. Obi-Wan Kenobi like had the chance to be with someone from Mandalore and chose not to because of the Jedi Code. Like the Jedi Code is not, it's archaic. Like it's not something to emulate. You know, it's the same thing, you know, and I'm not trying to rag on any religions necessarily, but it's the same reason, it's the same problem I have with like Catholicism with priests and nuns. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that that's what God intended for his children.
Well, they used to marry.
Well, there you go.
Oh.
There you go. And like I would say, you know, and I'm no
Not
one.
necessarily nuns. but-
I'm a nobody. But the whole thing is like that dedicating yourself to God is, you know, obviously great. But you know, and there's talk of like eunuchs and how that like worked in the Bible, and like there are some things to do with that, but I think got taken out of proportion.
Yeah.
And there's lots of things. There's so many things. The worst thing about Christianity is there's so many different doctrines, and people have no idea what to follow and why to follow it, and it doesn't help us as Christians. Like I just listened to a debate with that zone leader that we were talking about.
Oh yeah.
And he was talking to Protestants, and Protestants apparently believe in like being chosen. Like or at least this sect of Protestants. I don't
Probably
know.
Calvinism, where it's
Yes,
just like
exactly. It was Calvinist. So
You're
they were like,
chosen. And
you
then-
were chosen. So like, and the idea is like, Anne Frank was chosen to suffer the way she did. That's the idea. Like you were chosen before, and so they definitely don't believe in like free agency. Like they believe that you were destined.
Yes, sadly.
And it's like that is a gross, in my opinion, is a gross misunderstanding of God and His plan for His children.
True, but sadly that has gotten into all Christian culture, and it's even us as LDS, because Calvinism was big, and it was like a precursor to all this, because you have to have all these different religions and things happen before you can get to, our faith, and the revelations that we got. And Calvinism is one of those things where it's just like, oh, I believe I was chosen to be saved, and that's us. And there's like, well, how do you know? And then it became about how well you did in life. And so it's just like, oh, because I'm this wealthy, because I have this, I've been blessed because I am chosen.
Right.
And that
prosperity doctrine is what we call it in LDS culture.
And so, that has been a holdover for centuries.
I have bishops ex-bishops who would say that and have made comments about that.
And we even like try to...
Oh, that stuck in my chest.
Yeah.
That was gruesome.
We try to get people to kind of buy into that a little bit, right? Like, if you pay your tithing, then, it's fire insurance, and it's really hard to do things altruistically because you believe in stuff, because you've kind of heard these, like, one-liners. And there is there is...
When you don't do it because of, like, because you're supposed to do it because you're trying to follow the will of God.
Yeah.
You're not... Well, and even in my own... Yeah, like, I have my own stories about, like, when I was serving a mission... And I would say that very thing is like, well, I'm going because I want to serve God. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't have any other thing, and like that's how I'm showing, like, obedience is greater than sacrifice. That's what we believe in our faith. And it's like, and people like not reviled, but like tried to like correct me on that. And it's like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, that is what God has asked me to do. Like, He's asked me to be obedient, even if I don't understand. Even if I don't want to be obedient, He's asking me to be obedient. Like, and that's the hardest thing to do, is to be obedient when you don't want to be.
Do you do it blindly?
Well, and that's like, if you believe in God, like, and if you want to use, I guess it depends on how you mean blindly. Because blindly suggests that, like, you don't know what you're doing. And I don't think that's what is meant by that. I think it means it's like you trust Heavenly Father explicitly. So you can go blind into a situation knowing that it is the best thing for you. And that's, in my opinion, that's what Nephi did. That's what Abinadi did. That's what Alma and Amulek did. That's what they did. They went... quote unquote, blindly. Like, I don't know that Abinadi knew he was going to be burned at the stake. Like, maybe he wouldn't have gone if he did, honestly. Who knows?
I bet he...
Maybe.
I bet he knew.
Maybe he did. But all that is just speculation. And even if he did know, great on him. But that would be blind, in my opinion. It'd be like, you want me to get burned on the stake? Okay, I'll do it. That's blind. Like, that's blindly following something.
Abraham and Isaac.
Yeah.
That's pretty blind.
Yes. Noah. Like, all of it. And that's what I mean. So it's like, I think people maybe use that as a way of, like, trying to dunk on the church or on that idea. And it's like, well, no. Blind faith is not meant to be looked at that way. It's not, or you're not blind as to the fact of reality or truth. What you're saying is that my will be swallowed in the will of God, because I know that if I do that, I will be eternally blessed for it. Because how else would we go about life? How else would we go about life in such a terrible place that we live in? The world is awful. It's awful. And yet we still do our best. And it's like, how could we face the day without that? Like, some people can, because they have everything. They have a lot of stuff, and that's okay. That's fair, I guess. But there's so much. It's like, we as Americans, it's like we have so much. And you think about like you want to talk about like the batteries that are being produced for our cars. And you want to show you the children that look just like my son, who go and dig up with their hands the minerals for it.
I know, I think they're doing such a
great
thing.
And you think, like, You think you're so pious because you drive a Prius? Like, give me a break. You have no idea what's happening.
Right. My other contention with all that is that